Good morning and welcome to 59 Minutes. My name is Levi Kones. This morning we are going to be discussing matters to do with local tourism, talking about the rise and of course the support of local tourism, especially in the festive season. To join me in doing that is a gentleman who is the CEO of Euray Safaris East Africa Limited. His name is Raymond. Cheruiyot. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Glad to have you here.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
Happy to be back home.
Yeah. Are things improving, Raymond, on the local tourism scene?
With the shock that just came in, we seem to be moving back to the flip of scare.
Oh, like moving backwards?
We're getting a lot of scares. We've had cancellations for guests who are coming in from Russia.
Why is that?
Because of the vaccination stories and such like stuff. So there seems to be there seem to be drawback into possibly where we were. But again, I think there's also a kind of people don't want to get vaccinated.
There's a bit of a
reluctance, kinda.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that that's affecting tourism.
Of course it does. You had the other day now that with the enforcement of the government, the restriction with the government is that there are no laws that make levy get vaccinated by force, by law. Right? So you have to use other proxies like MOH directives and all that. Like I think what is coming out right now is that you need to have a certificate of vaccination.
Is that already happening at the parks?
No, it's getting implemented. Directives have been given to the airlines that you can't board if you don't show your vaccination certificate. That's one way. There's a directive that is being given to the hotels that the clients checking in must produce their certificates of vaccination. Like you ought to have had the 2 jabs or at least 1 Johnson. And there's a lot of reluctance from for some reason. I don't know why people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And also then it's not very clear on how the hotels are going to handle it, because you see you've been yearning for customers and suddenly you're being told no. Yes, this customer is willing to pay, Levy is willing to pay, but you can't get in because you don't have a certificate, and that's a directive.
Yeah, so you're supposed to turn away money.
Supposedly, you're supposed to tell guys, no.
You know, there's, with that in mind, because the directive is coming into effect 21st of December, yes?
Yes.
That's just about, what?
That's actually the time when most people would be traveling.
Yes.
But again, on the flip side, if you have 1 jab and you're able to prove that you got a jab, then you're safe, because then it's known that you're progressing towards getting fully vaccinated.
Yeah,
it's a good thing to note that preventive measures are being taken.
Yeah,
so that
and yet it's somehow affecting.
Of course, it does affect
visitors.
Yeah.
Are you guys in talks with the Ministry of Health? As a stakeholder group?
Yes, we have. The talks that are ongoing with, particularly within the organization that I subscribe to.
Yeah.
That is the Tour Operators Society of Kenya, TOSC. And I think there's some, even with the tourism board and all that, I think we are starting to see a kind of synergy being built on that. Of course, we encourage our customers to get vaccinated. It's for you. It's not for anyone else.
Yeah, true.
It's just for you. Just that we don't have a law that is making it mandatory.
And then that's a challenge.
Yeah.
Another challenge, I think, for you would be how's it working out with a season where children are still in schools up to the 23rd? Is that changing anything in terms of people going out?
Of course, you can't. I mean, of course, it does. The people would. One of the reasons why people go on holidays and all that, they want to have time with their children to bond with them.
Yeah.
But then you're not going to cut off your children so people get arrangements to go just to have their local thing. And again, there's another flip side. People are looking at schools being opened on 3rd or on 4th or on 5th of January. That means you have a window of expenditure that is intense.
Yeah.
And
we're still thinking about fees.
Yes.
In that same window, thinking about rent.
That's what happens. So the only thing that people need to change is the culture of planning. See, you plan to go on a holiday, then you start saving for it. That way, you get yourself prevented from disappointments of not being able to go for a holiday because school fees is happening next week, or because you need to pay your rent and all that stuff. And to mitigate such, we have had arrangements where you do your deposits, you can pay slowly by slowly. And before you know it, you're able to travel. Because people spend money, but they don't realize they're spending.
Yeah.
Take your math from January to December. How much have you spent?
Yeah, sometimes doing that math is just depressing.
And you might not.
It's more than you can imagine.
Yes, and you know, a little bit, 1,000 there, 500 here, 2,500 if things are good. Kidogo. Before you know it, then you're able to travel. And then you're able to account, of course, for now, these things that you can't. If you spent money yesterday, if you start doing mathematics for what you spent on, you'll run mad. Yet those are things that, of course, you would have been saving for. And one thing that people don't understand is traveling is just part of feeding your body, feeding your mind, creating memories for yourself. And it's an investment that you must take. The only thing is that don't wait until it's that time when everyone else is going, then you're there, boom, I need to start traveling. Then it doesn't work for you if you're not a heavy earner. I guess who likes spending 300,000, 600,000, 400,000 at one go, the people would plan and say, let me keep depositing this little by little.
Yeah, and many of us are in the latter.
Yeah, and of course, then you'll get to create as much memories when you do that towards the end of the year, or it doesn't have to be towards the end of the year, even in mid-year, when the season is low, and it becomes much easier.
Has this change of calendar, especially like school calendar, post-COVID, has it caused a change of season for you guys?
Yes, it has. It has.
What would you say is the high season now?
Like in April, that is when it's expected that many people would be having their children out, and they want to travel as much as possible with their children, and that is a change. But now the hotel industry has also been very accommodative in the sense that there's no hike of pricing per se. It is just your space that you'd have so many people, which you possibly would avoid when you plan in the short periods. When you have 10 days or you have a weekend, then you're able to travel with your people and then you have your space. All right? Yeah. And that is what most people don't seem to get. Many people right now, traditionally in their minds, they've been getting to December. But look, December is only 23rd, that is 24th, 25th, 26th, you'll be already fast. And now, with the kind of things that we have in Kenya, and of course this cuts across the world, is expenditures that are coming now the following week. Because you have a Christmas week, we have a Christmas week, then the following week is opening week. You get? So if there's a little bit of change in terms of mind and all, then people would get to travel. But the hotels are at least I've engaged with a number of hotels, and the pricing are not hiked as much as it used to be. Yeah. So they're very extremely accommodative. Yeah. And so traveling is affordable if you plan.
So how would you tell people? Because you see our banner right here is supporting local tourism.
Yes, and now that is why, and I need to say great thanks to CAS TV that you're able to come up with such programs that enables people now to get information and know that you don't have to wait for a peak season to travel. And they also need to know that there are companies like Euray Safaris and many others who have planned, who can plan with you. So we'd say, hey, Levi, when you're on travel in June, okay, fine. This is your likely cost, and this would be your payment plan, which you're paying at ease without pressure. And then you're looking at just raising a small fee and depositing. When you have money in your pocket, the chances that you're going to spend are high than when you have it already planned for. All right. Right now, if you're given like 50K, your mind is likely to go haywire, thinking, okay, so I'm wet. I need to. All right. And the people who are generous with money, naturally, they're not to be blamed. The people, when they get money, they become generous.
Yeah. They have the feel-good feeling. It just comes over them.
Yes, and you'd sponsor anything and everything that comes along. And before you know it, the cash is gone. And now you go back to the fold. All right. But if you've deposited your money somewhere for a purpose, then it becomes much easier for you to use it for that particular purpose. Right. But if you talk to most people, they say, okay, I'm planning. But they keep chopping. They keep chopping. Before you know it, a friend wants something, then says, hey guy, can you give me 10K? Then I'll get it for you. Then that 10K takes forever to come back. So by the time it comes back, the purpose that you had intended it for is gone. All right? Or a guy decides that now, because you had 50K and you've chopped off 10K, and the trip is costing you 50K, then you're like, okay, fine. Since I'm waiting for this other guy to give me that, you also lend yourself a bit of what you have to use it for something else, thinking that you're going to fill it up. Then it happens that you don't get to fill it. You don't get the money back to its purpose.
Yeah.
Then the interest dies naturally. Okay, after all, kwani kutembea ni nini? I mean, it can wait. You're not going to die if you don't travel. Which is the line most people are using.
Which is why you find yourself at my age having not been to the park.
You can imagine.
After so many, because you have pushed it and pushed it and pushed it until now you're.
People push.
Yeah.
I can tell you for a fact, and it's not something that you'd imagine like. It's something that has always been there. It's human.
Yeah.
You want to push what you think is not an emergency. Then you keep pushing yourself into a corner.
Yeah. What about the fear of cost? You see, a lot of us.
That's exactly what I'm saying. People fear cost because it's accumulated. But I've asked you a question. How much money have you spent from January to December right now?
Yeah. Even in silly things.
Yes, of course.
To you,
but I've just given you an example. People get excited, or rather, they become naturally generous when they have the funds. There's someone that needs money there, and you have it, then you have to give it. Or there are even people who go and say, "You guys, peweni. What do you take? What do you take? Power." Before you know it, it's gone, and you're back to the fold. Then you go to your cocoon now and start thinking, okay, fine, how did I spend that money?
Yeah.
But you see, if you had planned to travel and you've already deposited that money will be kept intact. And if money comes to Euray Safaris, it's very difficult for us to release the money back to you. Unless now you're saying you're canceling it completely, there are terms and conditions. We're helping you to attain your dream. All right? So unless now it gets to the date when you've said you're traveling and something happens, then you get your money.
Yeah, but ideally, you're supposed to achieve what it is you have put in your money for.
Of course.
So
any serious human being would get focused on what they need.
How about are the costs? Let me just tell our viewers a bit. If you wanted to go to Amboseli or Savo,
Do you know you can go to Amboseli?
How bad could it be?
it's not as, I mean, with 6,500, you can go camp in Amboseli. 6,500 on cost sharing basis. What does that mean? Get into a truck. We have the overland trucks.
Yeah.
All right. Overland truck carries about 25 to 30 people, or 35. And it comes with all, it comes with camping gear, and with a chef and all that. You don't have to go and stay in an expensive hotel. All right.
You can get the full bush experience.
Yeah, and actually it's so exciting when you get yourself into that particular tent.
Yeah.
And
it's unfortunate today I didn't ask you to bring pictures. We'll do that next time because I would have liked to see. I've seen you do that.
Yes, a lot of that. And the exciting bit is when you hear a lion passing by. And
I'm not so sure how many people think that's exciting. I'm like, what do I go here?
And you know, lions, like just like.
And between you and this lion is this nylon tent.
Just they don't smell you as food unless now you have a gazelle ngozi on yourself.
Yeah.
But they don't smell you as, they just look at you like, you see there you look at wild fruits.
Yeah.
That a monkey would be looking at.
I could eat them, but I don't have to.
You could eat them, but you know that is not
it's not the taste you're looking for.
It's not what you're looking for. But if a monkey looks at that fruit, suddenly that they would have a taste of it. So that's exactly how the cats look at you. For as long as you don't disturb, you still, then that's it. They wouldn't attack you if you're, and that is why some cats would jump into a vehicle, smell around.
Yeah, I've seen those things.
Smell around, and they give them. But if there was a gazelle inside the vehicle, then suddenly they would go for the gazelle. All right, and that's it. So that exciting bit of getting to hear that lion roaring somewhere next to your tent is it gets some adrenaline in within you. You'll remember that forever. Forever. So now, so we know, because you're talking about the cost on how bad it is.
Yeah.
Like I've said, with a 6,500, you can camp in Amboseli. As simple as that for a weekend. Go on a Friday, come back on a Saturday. 1 night, 2 days. And you have a full experience in the park. Yeah. You've camped, that means you've slept, you've taken your meal, and of course you're on a comfortable truck. And while you're on the truck as well, you're having fun. You're meeting people, meeting new people, because a truck is a moving, it's like a moving restaurant.
You're networking.
Yes, you're networking, you're doing your stuff. And the more you do that, the more your mental strength as well stabilizes. If you had an issue, by the time that weekend is gone, instead of going and drinking yourself silly, then you go and have yourself with people.
And you spend more than 6,500 to do that.
Of course. So instead of going and saying, no, I need to sleep, meet with people. Number one is that you're creating your networks. You're getting new ideas on how things run. You have as many people, because you get to, the more people you know, the more knowledge you gain. All right, and now out of the people that you meet, you create your network, and that's what life is. And I keep telling people, life is for the living. If you get confined in a corner, then now you're not living really. Yeah, that's it. You're breathing, but you're not living.
So it's better you get out there. Tell me, what are some of the most intriguing places you have been to in this country? That you think people should go there and they don't know about it?
One of it, and I need to get people to know this. I told you last time about Chalbi Desert. People go to Dubai to go to a desert. We have such an incredible place in the northern Kenya that people have never gotten to experience.
Is it safe? People are afraid?
Very safe. We actually slept outside. It's very safe. Very.
How do you get there? This road to Marsabit?
Yes, you take to Marsabit, then to
Isiolo.
yes. No, you use the Marsabit, go through the Isiolo, go to North Horr. North Horr actually is a place, and people there are easy. It's not a complicated life at all. It's not anything like you're expecting to see structures or hotels that are huge. That one for me, it was intriguing. It is something that I'll never forget. Then you get stuck in sand. All right. Then you have to deflate your tires so that your vehicle is able to move, floating on the sand, going and sliding over the dunes, seeing the sunset.
You can do that here?
Yes. Not you can. You people do it. I've done it. And it's one of the memories I've never forgotten. It's one of those things that
You know, you can take pictures and you can look as if you went out.
No. At least you record.
People are thinking to take up on social media Dubai things.
And you're not anywhere. Just like I saw the other day when this person takes this plastic stool, the sitter.
Yeah.
Then you appear like if someone takes at a certain angle a pic of you, then it looks like you're on a plane window.
Oh, yeah, on a plane window.
So people, you want to feel like you're traveling,
people
but then you
fake
do
it
that.
till you make it. A lot of people want to be staff now.
Yeah.
But I think the idea that you could actually discover the things that are in your country is also very good. Because sometimes we are too concerned with what we can go and see outside there, yet we have not fully explored our backyards.
Absolutely. There's so many places that are within the country that, and I think the biggest fear that people have is about the cost.
Yeah.
And it's really, until I traveled, and until I was a player in this, and I've been imagining that someone is using so much money in traveling and all that, which is not the truth. And that is what people need to know. A perfect trainer, I've just told you, you can camp for 6,500. You have transport yourself, you've taken yourself from Nairobi to Amboseli, you have slept, all right? You've eaten food, you've gone for game drive, and now you're networking. Simple. Or to Samburu, or even to this Mara, where people imagine that it's huge and it's hugely expensive, all right? But some people don't like tents, so they prefer to have bigger plans on where they want to spend with confined, because the big tents that looks like a house. And as a matter of fact, there are no permanent buildings in Mara, like stone walls and all that, because as much as you have camps within the park, you leave spaces for animals to move freely without interfering on their walkways.
So you could be in a camp and an animal could come there?
Certainly. Because if you go to a camp that is in a river, built by the riverside, and then the hippos come at night to look for something to eat. Yeah, you can hear them.
Or even the leopards in trees.
Yes, leopards are shy. And leopards are, I think, the most ferocious cats amongst the many. The friendly one is a cheetah. So leopards, like the walk sniper. They don't show themselves. They don't walk freely. So you always find them hiding. And they like, of course, hunting at night and such like stuff.
Yeah.
But of course, lions show themselves. They behave like they own the world, which they do in the park. And that's it. Elephants just walk freely. Right? For as long as you don't disturb them and all that, they let you run. They let you.
Where would you go in your experience where you would see the most of, many different species at one go?
Mara is a place. Mara is enriched with animals, all of them, without a strain. That's where you get a rhino, that's where you get a leopard, that's where you get a cheetah, that's where you get a lion, that's where you get an elephant, that's where you get giraffes as many, that's where you get all the antelopes. That is where you get all of them are there. And it's expansive. And you can't finish in a day or two or in 3 days. And you can go to Mara as many times. We have 5 gates that let you in, right? If you want to have a polite game drive, that's Amboseli. You can finish because it's a bit smaller.
Yeah.
All right. Another expansive park is a Savo. Savo is Savo West. That's where you get the red elephants, tree climbing lions. You get all the big cats there.
Yeah, you get those lions. Those lions that were eating people.
Yes, the lion.
It was the lion. Yes, the man-eater.
The man-eaters.
Yes.
But you see, those were killed.
Yeah, those were killed.
Yes.
But they say the lions of that side are the ones that are, they like snacking on us.
Every time there's like we had an incident in Mara of a leopard, and that leopard had to be killed. It's for scratching the people, and again, it was not the leopard's fault. It was the tourist fault that they went too close to the leopard and started making moves. And like I said, it's very ferocious. It can attack you. A cheetah can walk away, but a leopard will come for you. And they don't come, of course, to eat you. They just come to slap you and move away.
So it attacked the tourists?
Not one. There were 6 guys of them.
Wow.
And they slapped it slapped every one of them and went away.
They lived though?
Yes. But now you see now that leopard had to die. Because it had already interacted with human, and when they start tasting blood, then they become like
so we are like the forbidden fruit until
yeah. So now how do we support our local tourism? It's by first embracing, and this is a product. We have a rich product as a country. So even instead of people thinking about how do I go to Serengeti, for example, or to go to Uganda, let's exhaust what is within, and you support by planning appropriately. Get your finances and identify a tour operator that is credible. All right? And how do you identify a credible tour operator? First of all, ask whether they belong to any society. Do they belong to Kato? Do they belong to Tusk? Do they belong to Kata? And the credibility comes in because for any of our tour operator to belong to any of these organizations, then first of all, they need to have a TRA license. All right? And for them to get a TRA license, then they ought to have been inspected, physical inspection of their offices, confirm that they are compliant with taxes, confirm that the actual people who are there.
That they are legit.
Yes, they're so that is where the credibility comes in.
Yeah.
All right. So if you want to identify who is, then you're able to check. Like I can speak for our society, that is the TOSC, that all the members are listed on our website, and people are able to check, and you know who to deal with and who not to deal with. Right, and that's why I keep encouraging any tour operator to belong to a society, because that way, of course, then it creates a sustainable tourism plan. And instead of engaging individual tour operator, then engage a society with the government through the Ministry of Tourism and Kenya Tourism Board and all the other bodies that are there. It becomes easier when they're engaging a body other than engaging individuals. And of course, we've had people who are losing money. Like you paid a tour operator who in the first place never existed.
It's a ghost.
The other is a ghost tour operator. Or you pay and the guy chooses the money and disappears.
Hey, so one, get a legit tour operator.
Yes, you need to get a legit tour operator. Because any tour operator that belongs to society means they have nothing to hide. Yeah.
Yeah, then what after that?
Then after that now, that when you start engaging, if you're planning to go on a safari, then have a plan with that tour operator. Say in June I'll be going, then that tour operator gives you the cost. Then you start planning with them, all right? With a money back guarantee, right? I can only talk about, like in our case, the Euray safaris, because those are things that we've done before. And we've seen people traveling without a struggle. Right? And people don't have to have you don't have to have 100K to travel. Kidogo too. A small bit here, a small bit there. That extra fuel that you would have used to make rounds.
It's a new concept for us. A lot of Wazungus, people don't realize, come here after 1 or 2 years of planning.
Yes, of course, and that is true. We have some Germans that are planning to come in 2023.
No, wameanza sahi.
Now wameanza sahi. Tell me what would prevent that person from coming. And once you start making their deposits, it means they're 100% committed. And they only make commitment when they know this is a credible person that you're dealing with. It's a credible company that you're dealing with. It's a company that is obviously in the open, and people know. Yeah. And so we need to encourage ourselves. You can do a 6-month plan or a 1-year plan.
And you can get to see these places at least that, live a mtalii lifestyle for a moment.
Yes, and by the way,
unajibamba.
Unajipeleka polepole. Unajipeleka na rieng.
Yeah. And then of course, there's also the cascading effect that as you do that, you're supporting local tourism.
Of course, certainly.
It's not just the tour operator that's benefiting. It's people who work under you. It's a game park.
It's a back and
it's the rangers.
It's back to back.
Yes.
There's so many players in it.
Yeah.
You see, people would only see that tour operator and the person who wants to travel. But there's so many other people that are behind. All right. We do subscriptions to many organizations.
It's a hotel if you're sleeping in one.
Of course, in those hotels there are people who are working there.
Yes.
It means there are families there. If you have employees, then you have families that you're feeding from that. So it's a way. It's actually it's a web. So you support this one to support the one and the other and the other. And that's what life is.
Yeah. For those guys in Nairobi, because we only have about 5 minutes or so, who haven't been to the park, what would you say?
Like Levi.
Like Raymond, you are pushing. What would you tell them? It should be the push for them to get out there.
Basically, you just need to say, I need to go next weekend. Like, I'll give you a schedule. We do Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays in Nairobi National Park. All right. And you don't have to go tomorrow. But if you feel like you have the power, that generosity that comes within you, prioritize yourself. Give yourself out cash and call Euray Safaris and say, or any other organization that you'd prefer to, and say, I need to go to the park. All right? What is the cost of getting to the park? It's like a cruiser is 12,900. A van is 10,000. Right? Then you go and pay the park fees, which is 400 per person, or 200 per child. And it's free for 4-year-olds and below. And you're good. So if you have a family of 4 children, then that means that's 1,600. That's 11,600 complete, done. You're in the park. Or 15,000. You are in the park with a cruiser and have a good field moment. All right? And And you go with snacks. You don't have to go and have lunch, or you're saying I need to go to the hotels that are within the park to buy lunch. Of course, certainly, if you have the cash, then it will be also good to promote them. But if you don't, then you can go with your snacks. And snacking when you're doing game drive, it feels nice.
Yeah.
And
the animals are eating and you're eating.
Yeah. So my advice to guys is don't wait and don't sit don't strangle your mind. Get out, travel. But also you tell yourself you don't even know you don't just need to go to Nairobi National Park. The other places, go to Kereita and do the zip lines. Have you ever hanged? You're up in the sky, suspended,
hey,
and you're on a line.
Hiyo si ya watu wa kwetu. Only thing we hang on lines are clothes.
Yeah.
We don't.
But let me tell you, it's a very nice feeling.
Yeah.
It's a nice feeling. I wish if we had videos and the photos and all that stuff, and for people to see, it's one of the greatest feelings you can ever have.
Yeah.
It is out of this world. And there are many other places. In Kenya that we can have.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yeah. As we close, because I see we're out of time. It's almost 11. What would you tell the person seated at home, looking at the festive season and just thinking, what do I do with it? What would be your advice?
All right,
speak to them.
All right, this is what my advice is to. The most beautiful thing about the times you're living on right now is availability of information. There's a lot of this information on social media, or you can also contact any of your tour operators. You can talk to Euray Safaris to advise you on what destinations you need to have for your festive season this coming we are actually in the festive season right now, and we need to have ourselves being open and having that intention for traveling. Right? Invest in yourselves. Feed your mind with all the positivity, because as you travel, positivity reigns. As you travel, you get to network. As you travel, you get to learn. As you travel, you get to live within yourself, and that is why I keep telling people that life is for the living, because you live within yourself when you're traveling. You who is seated in the house, you who is at home, you who is watching currently, it's not expensive to travel. You just need to have your place identified, and you go and have your fun, and you create your memories, because life is for the living.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks.
Always a pleasure.
Good.
We did say we would do a show outside. We need to.
I told you last time, and I need to tell you again.
Yeah.
Let's go and let's do a show.
Let's go Tembea and see
these
things you're saying.
And it's life. We had a good feature last weekend. We do a talk in the forest.
Yeah.
And it actually, when you're outside this space, Levy, when you're talking from outside, it's top of the world.
Top of the world.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Right.
Thank you for what you're doing.
Thanks.
And for promoting our tourism out there.
Thanks.
Raymond Cheruiyot, he is a CEO, Euray Safaris East Africa Limited. He says, you know what, you don't have to start big. Start small. Weka pole pole. Get out there and become that mtalii for one day. Stay tuned for Leah coming up with Losu. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. God bless you.